It's like Jamie, but not. The only thing we share is the A and the M. Like Jamie, Haman, and then you gotta do that after you say his name, Haman. You think you wanna? Ugh, nasty. Now here's the thing: if he had done for Ahasuerus what Hushai did for David, then I'd probably be like, oh yeah, Haman, look at Haman, Haman's nice, Haman's nice. And girl, you know he's cute too? He's cute, girl, you know he's cute. No, wrong. He was round. I mean, I'm round, but I'm not extreme. He was extreme. I'm extreme my hair because that's the way they draw him. That's the way they design him. Like Eli, and the Bible talks about him. He fell on his big fat neck. The Bible tells you he fell. That's how he died. He broke his big fat neck. It says that he was fat and he fell off a chair and broke his neck. So what I say is he broke his big fat neck. I'm from the ghetto. You gotta understand. That's the ghetto version of it. That's the King Ghetto version. Not the ghetto Jamie version. I don't know. The GJV, the ghetto Jamie version. I don't know. He broke his big fat neck. What do you want from me? Haman. It's not Hagar's. Because at least I could take Hagar's down the street and we go to Bodega and we get some of her chocolates, right? We get some of Hagar's chocolates. Hagar's, right? That's Hagar's. Smells like chocolate. Fresh, smooth, nougaty. Hagar's. Get the sensation. Well, I stole that from York Pepper and Patty. Get the sensation. So I could get chocolate with Hagar's. But I can't do this with Haman's. I can't. Because if Haman did make a chocolate, I don't think anybody would want it. Hagar's sound like a chocolate. Hagar's. You know, like Dagannots at my church. I told them, I said, every time I see y'all make me one chocolate. Now that may be rude to some people, but you gotta understand Jamie. Like, you gotta know me. Every time I see them, I want chocolate. Because their last name is Dagannots. Their last name is actually Dagannots. But he said, but Jamie, if this helps. He told us last year. He said, Jamie, if this helps you, our last name is not Dagannots. I said, what is it? He said, Daniel. I said, but you spell it like Dagannots. You spell it like Dagannots. I mean, you want chocolate. You spell it like Dagannots. He's like, no, that's not my last name. So I was like, okay, you got it. That was last year. I still call him Dagannots. I can't help it. I mess up people's names. I do, because it's not easy for me to say it. It is, but it's not easy for me to remember sometimes. It is, but I just don't be feeling like it. I tried to mess up Pastor Dizzy's name, and I think he's not telling the truth, because I was like, I call you Pastor Dizzy. He's like, I know. I was like, but I call you that just because I like to mess with your name. He's like, I know. He said, but Jamie, that's my name. I was like, well, say your name. He's like, Adigian. I said, no, that's wrong. I said, your last name is not Adigian. Your name's something else. I say it like that because it's funny. He said, no, Jamie, that's my last name. So me trying to mess his name up, apparently I got it right, which was no fun for me. He took all the fun away. So I tried to mess his name up. It didn't happen. But Haman's? What was Haman's last name? What's his last name? Was Adigian or Hargis? Haman Hargis. If you ever have a name that's double letters. Wait, let me check in my mind. Timothy Lane, Lester. Trenton's Williams. Okay. DH. Okay. Yeah, ain't none of them got that. Okay, good. If you ever have a name that's double initial, wow. Let's just say that, because there may be somebody at my church that has that, and I want to, blast that. But wow, it's itchy. It may be pretty to write on paper, but what if that was his last name? Haman Hargis. God help me, I don't like it. I'm trying to say it to get used to it because I'm making a point. I'm trying to say it to get used to it, but every time I say it, it makes me mad. I don't like it. I don't like it worse. Like, it gets worse for me. It gets worse. It don't get better for me, it gets worse. I do that with my paintings. Like, I'm sitting in front of this painting I did of this little girl. She's blowing into the wind, and she's got all these colors around her, and it's about 3 by 3 foot by 3 foot. And so I'm gonna submit that to the museum. I'm thinking about submitting it along with the ones that Miss D kind of like said she liked or whatever. I'm thinking about submitting those, but I'm looking at this painting in front of me, and the more I look at it, the more I like it. You get lost in the color and the loops of it. It looks like a signature, like somebody was trying to write their name with it, and it's just, for me, it's beautiful. I won't say it's beautiful because I don't know what someone else would think, but I think it's beautiful, so I love looking at it. So if they don't take it, I'll be fine with it because I get to look at it even longer because I love looking at it, right? Well, that's not true of Haymon Harges. Ooh, every time I say it, it makes me feel gross. What happens when you are associated with somebody that has a last name, right? That's kind of like yours, but we all know it ain't you because that would just be weird. I know a man from North Carolina. His name is Jamie, Jaime, Hodges, Hodges. Am I lying? No. If I'm lying, I'm flying. Look him up now. Call me later. We became Facebook friends just because of his name. That's the truth. I said, wow, that's your name? He said, yeah. I said, cool, let's be friends. He said, okay. Haven't heard from him in what, 4 years, 5 years? Since I friended him? I friended him based on his name. Well, Haymon Harges will lose friends. Number one, because nobody wants to hear Haymon Harges. But number two, the name Haymon has a ring to it that nobody wants to accept. If you hear Haymon is proposing to you, you will turn down the proposal. I don't care what he's asking you to do. I don't care what he's asking you for. You don't want anything to do with it. Judas. I don't think I'll hear anybody naming their child Judas. I just don't. People that don't like the Christian faith will name their kid Judas. Judas name me. I think his name means betrayer. I think his name is, I'm not certain. I looked his name up a while back. I think it means betrayer. He is the son of perdition, right? But I think his name means betrayer. Just like John is a son of Boanerges, right? But his name means love. It's different. I know what Haymon's name means. I mean, we know Naomi, whose name means plentiful. She tried to rename herself, and she said, call me Mara, for I am bitter. Okay? I'm not going to do that. If you want to be named based on your circumstance, based on what your life looks like today, if you want to be named each day for what you are going through, then nobody is ever going to know who you are. And in the season that you're in, you will lose everybody. You will not have any family, and you won't have anybody to relate to, because family, right, are the people. I told Pastor David this. Family are the people that see me through the week. They see me through my ups, my downs, my sick, my well, my weak spots. I'm sick every day. I just don't talk about it a lot, so nobody knows it. You know me through my weak spots, because you know me during the week. If the week starts and you pretend like you don't know me, then what are we doing? Oh, I thought you was for real. You wasn't. We walk together all the time. Everything that we do it together. Judas and Jesus were a part of the same clique. Boink, boink, boink. It was 13 men. And the thing is, I would have been walking around like Jesus, like, yeah, me and you is like each other. Me and you is like each other, right? Because you got Jesus, I'm Jamie, right? So just our names kind of like, we got 5 letters, both start with J. What? And you came from Nazareth, and I came from New Jersey. Except you come from Nazareth. You came from heaven. But still, right, that was your territory, right? I come from the territory, right? So the devil is terrorizing people in New Jersey just like they're terrorizing people in Nazareth. They couldn't get themselves together to realize that he's the King of Kings while he was down here. So that's why they're missing out. And they were missing out before, and they're missing out now from the healings that they could give. Because the Bible says that he could not do much healing because of their lack of faith, not because of his. That's fun. You miss out because of you. Just how much power you have in your faith, and you only get a measure. That's what I'm saying. I'm not. Why y'all taking that? I'm not taking nothing off of nobody. What? So I bark like a dog. And I mean, when I say Satan's on the ground, y'all understand. I see him on the ground, burgundy, bacon, the colored back. Remember that? Y'all know why I was doing that? Because I was reminding myself that man ain't dressed in a 3-piece suit at my door, holding up a light bulb. He's on the floor with horns coming out of his head, horns coming out of his ears, and out of his back. When I step on his back, I walk across his back because I'm walking. When I step on his back and crush his spine, right, I need to make sure I look where I'm going because I want to step on his horn. And I have to go to hospital, and then they're going to make me pay a bill, because y'all know dollar bill, y'all. They're going to make y'all pay a bill. You got to wrap your foot up. I'm not going to make Kirk wrap the foot up. He got some antiseptic. He don't like do nothing, but he's going to give me some stitches. It becomes saga for me. It becomes the Jamie step on one Satan horns extravaganza. It becomes a saga. But I see him as being burgundy, nasty brown and burgundy. I mean burgundy like I don't like burgundy. Like burgundy like I use burgundy. I won't use certain types of burgundy, and I use brown. I won't use certain types of brown because it looked like poo. That's what he looked like. He looked like poo. What? The problem is you don't see Satan on his belly. That's why you still stand him up. You erect him. You stand him up. You stand him up. You stand him up. He's not coming to you and whispering in your ear, stand me up. Stand me up. Just stand me up. No, you don't need to. You're stupid. So if you come to the door and say, knock, knock, knock. It's Satan. Then what do? You stand him up. Because in your mind you see him. When you hear the name Satan, you see him in your head standing up. But Genesis 3:15 refutes that, sweetie. Anytime you hear, it's Satan, you should think, why my head? It's Satan. He ain't nowhere near my ears. So if he on the ground, he is disgusting. He on the ground. Every time I think Satan, I think on the ground. But it took training to do that. It took me getting up in the morning on my blog, and y'all remember it, saying nasty, fat, back, bacon, back, burger, back. Why was I doing that? Because burger's cooking the sun. He over there. He over there with the peoples. He over there with the peoples. So burger's cooking the sun when it get too hot. That's why I got bacon, burger, back, nasty back. Remember Scrubs? Y'all don't know, but I was watching Scrubs, and JD Elliot was dating Keith, which is one of JD's interns. So Elliot and JD are friends, not friends. Will they, won't they? You know, Ross and Rachel. Who cares? So, but they came over to JD's half acre. He called it half acre. He bought a half acre of land and didn't build on it. So he just had these have cookouts there and stuff. So Keith and Elliot are on the bath mat or whatever, and JD is rubbing lotion into Keith's back, but it's not lotion. He's rubbing Crisco in his back. So I said, bacon, burger, back, nasty, fat back. Because when you cook something like that, you need some oil, you need some grease. So I'm not just gonna cook Satan in the pot. I'm gonna get some grease. I make sure he burn a whole lot more. If I get some grease in the pot before I put him in there, he will reach levels of heat that I cannot imagine. I turn the fire up. I turn the furnace up 7 times more than it was wont to be heated. I turn him up. For me, he won't come see me no more. Won't come back by my door. Won't come back by here. I'll be JL. Feed him warm milk and then take him out with a hammer and a tin peg. Don't mess with me. You know it. Bacon, burger, back. Sorry to all those people named Nancy, but change your name. That's where I come from. They think that you're Nancy. You're Nancy. You lily livered. You a yellow belly. You're Nancy. Satan's a Nancy. He is. There's nothing wrong with the name. I'm just saying that's what they call him. They call you lily livered. You got bird chest. Like you just say nothing. I hit you and you on the ground. It's nothing. You trash. You garbage. It's nothing. Well, I would say it's Satan and Nancy. Cause you go to God, I'm supposed to be wearing down the saints of the Most High God, and I'm supposed to be able to be accused of the brethren, but she praying, so I can't do it. She praying. So when I tried to use that person to accuse her, she laughed and walked away. When I tried to use that person to accuse her, she walked all over my back and then called me a Nancy back. When I tried to use that person down the street to accuse her, it did not work on her. It's supposed to crush her, but it did not do it to her. Why? Because her faith that can move mountains is actually moving her faith. My faith causes me to see. That's why faith is not blind. It's never blind. Faith is seeing. Faith is the substance of things hoped for, the evidence of things not seen. Faith is the evidence. You see substance and you see evidence. You see both of those things. So if it's the substance of things hoped for, I can see it. If it's the evidence of things not seen, I still can see it. What's the evidence of things not seen? I don't see the wind, but I see the leaves moving. That's the evidence. I don't have no evidence of this wind, child. Oh, child. But I'm gonna tell you right now, when I look out this window, I think it's about 40 degrees out there. Why? Because I see snow. I see the leaves moving. They crying, but my window's closed. I ain't gonna. I just go by the evidence. Some people got substance. They need to get substance. You got the Gideons of the world. They need to find substance, get substance. Some people are okay with evidence. You need to get to the point where you're okay with evidence. Why? Because just as many times as Gideon, just many times as Gideon tested God, God went back and tested Gideon. Put the fleece on, and it's always greater with God. Put the fleece, wet the fleece, leave the ground dry. Make the fleece, dry, make the ground wet. They need to something. As many times as he did it, God tested Gideon. Except when God did it to Gideon, God took Gideon by, you want to test me by natural man means, by fleeces. Trying to put the fleece over my eyes. So he tested me by natural man means using fleeces. So what I'm going to do is test you by spiritual means. You want to test me by natural man means because you're a natural man? I'm going to test you by spiritual means because I'm a spirit and they that worship me must worship me and spirit and truth. So I'm going to take you from 320,000 to 300. And you won't even know the test is coming. You better pass it. Or you end up fighting off the Midianites for the rest of your life. And the truth. We think it's old Gideon. Let's worship Gideon. Let's worship Gideon. Gideon took them back into idol worship after he was done. Gideon, they said from Dan to Beersheba. Now I don't know who Beers and Shebas is. Beers and Shebas. I don't know who they are. But he did it. Gideon is responsible for the dance to Beersheba. It's the northern to the southernmost territory of Israel. But I don't know. But Beersheba is not a nice thing. Unless God gave it the name and then, it's wonderful. I don't like names. Like Haman. I don't like that name. 13th month of 13th day of the month Adar. When did the year start? I know Yom Kippur's is in our October. And Feast of Purims, I don't know. Feast of Purims, because I think that was supposed to be a replacement. I think they would have had an Adar holiday, right? An Adar killing holiday. But this Adar killing didn't happen. Then they had a Feast of Purims, right? They replaced what they thought they were going to get, right? The beautiful thing about the whole situation is that the Big Dan and Teresh, what I do, they say only what you do for Christ will last. What I do for God is what keeps me. What I do for God is what saves me. And what saved Mordecai is the fact that he rescued the king without promise of reward. He rescued the king from Big Dan and Teresh. And then no promise of reward, and then not even being acknowledged afterwards. But he still did it. He told Esther about it, and then Esther told the king, and they were, I won't say assassinated, but they were killed, right? So as the king is sleeping, right, God has him at the right time rolling over in his sleep. And when I say the right time, it's the bottom half of the story, right? The top half of the story is that Haman has already said, oh man, who's this man that won't bow to me? And they said that it is Haman. And so he said, okay, I'll take care of this thing. And so in the top half of the story, he went to the king and he asked the king, he said, there's a people, this is what he said, there is a people who do not worship you and do not respect you as king. I want to take care of them for you. Now, beware of people who bring gifts to you for no reason. Just lying. She said, Michelle, Jamie, you're not hearing me making noise. You're hearing the people next door to you. They play video games all night. They do play video games sometimes, but it's never as loud as her stomping. And I know, that's why I said, don't treat me like I'm stupid. I've been very kind to her from the very day she moved in. And I'm not kind, so people take my kindness for weakness. That's why I tend to go off. Because I'm not dumb. Don't treat me like I'm dumb. I'm not dumb. I know the difference between left and up. Left and up. I know what noise from them sounds like because nobody knows this, but from the moment they moved in, they had somebody that would get up in the middle of the night and scream to high heaven, and then start cussing and screaming, and it just lasted for about a month, and the person was ejected. But that was when Gregory was here. Everybody was having an issue with that, but nobody said anything, and I did not say anything. Because I said, God, protect my house where I don't have to hear it because I got to get up and blog. I got to get up and do my stuff. I said, protect me where it doesn't wake me up. I woke up every day refreshed. It was fine. It was fine with me. I woke up refreshed because I was not looking left. You're right up above me. And you've been given edicts. Something has to be done. Stop lying on them. Because whatever happened, that man is not there anymore, and they've already been punished for what happened to them. Don't lie on them. You don't know the story about them. That's why I got angry. Don't treat me like I'm stupid, and don't ever use anybody as a conduit of your excuse. I don't care if somebody does something to me, which many people have. I'm not going to do. You always do something to me. Am I going to use it as a conduit of my excuse? No. I hope she finds peace. I have to release her to herself. Because every time I talk to her about anything, she was coming up in the conversation, and she does not think about me, talk about me, have anything to do with me. And so I said, why am I living with her on the edge of my tongue if she doesn't know I exist? I could be dead in a box for all she knows. So I said, I release her. And I didn't even tell her, I released her. I've got better anyway. I got Pastor David and Miss Andrea. So I release her. I'm getting what I need. I release her, right? One thing she told me before I left in the diaper, she said, nobody will ever love you the way that I do. Nobody. Nobody will want you. Nobody will ever love you the way that I do. And I got outside the door and I turned and I said, I hope not. So I released her. I will not put anything on her. It's the fact that she's coming up in my mouth during my conversations. You know what I do about that? I ask God what to do about it, and we will knock down that wall. We work on it. We don't knock her down. She is not at fault for what I'm doing. I don't blame her for what goes on in my life. If I do something and other people don't understand why I do it the way I do it, then I say, okay, this is what I was raised under. But it's still not her fault. Don't bring nobody else into it. Haman looked at his king in the eye and he said, there's a people that does not, they don't respect you, they want to serve you. Let me take care of it. Now we talk about Joseph and the king, the Pharaoh, right? Be careful who you give your ring to, Pharaoh, right? Now here we go over here. Be careful who you give your ring to, Ahasuerus. That was an Egyptian king to a Persian king, and apparently they did not learn. You have not learned anything. So he gave Haman the ring that would allow him to go ahead and kill his wife. She knew she wasn't going to die because she was the queen. But everybody that knew any Jew could fight them, and Jews could not fight back. They were not allowed to. Also, the people that were in the town, in the city, did not know they had a Jew for a queen. I'll say a Jew because that sounds pretty bad, but a Jewish person for a queen. So they had more say about their lives than they realized they had. They couldn't take hold of it because she had not taken hold of her queenship with the king, right? It wasn't until she stepped out past the rules that the king gave, and which were indicative of what Vashti did to him. She stepped out past that and started to go see the king, right? She said, if I perish, but I'm going to see the king. I'm getting ahead of myself. But it wasn't until she stepped out past that, when she went and did that, she gave the people power with God. Why? Because what she did is she came before the king and he let down his scepter and she touched the end of the scepter. God told me then she was a picture of the Israelite people. The scepter was a picture of Jesus Christ, and then the Ahasuerus was a picture of God the King, right? But you only getting there one way, Israelite people. You only getting there one way, and it's through my big brother, Jesus Christ. You ain't getting there no other way. Don't get it twisted. You need the scepter. He says it was a picture of God letting down his son. God letting down the scepter. And if he let down his son to come down here and die, what makes you think you ain't got enough gall. You ain't got enough backbone, your lily liver. What makes you think, who are you to turn him down? I already don't have no listeners. It's okay. That means I can say what I want. It empowers me. Because if I don't have anybody listening, then I can say what I want. Right? I think I had 2 listeners, and both of them got the same name. So, that's it. That's it. Nobody likes me. So then we good. We good. We can talk. We good. We can talk for real. You a mess. Without Jesus, you are a mess. You a mess. He's the scepter. He's the throne of grace. You don't get grace. The Bible says you come before the throne of grace, that you may obtain mercy. Once you get the throne of grace thing right, you can go in there and get your mercy. You may go in and obtain your mercy, but you ain't got the throne of grace thing right. You just trying to come before God. That's the way to get killed. Because if you don't send a scepter to you, if you don't send Jesus Christ to you, you die immediately. Why? Because if he don't see you through the eyes, the lens of Jesus Christ, his son, he sees you in sin. And he cannot stomach you. Grace, Jesus Christ's grace is what makes it possible for God to stomach you. Otherwise,